Hi everyone, my name is Lisa from Endorphina Creative and I welcome you to this week's Stressless class. Today I'm going to guide you through a stressless life assessment, a kind of questionnaire to assess how you are doing with your stress levels in different areas of your life, and I have already outlined these in this week's Stressless Tips exercise that I have shared on social media. If you haven't seen it, do not worry, I will go through each of the categories again in this questionnaire, and after we have assessed our stressless life situation, I will guide you through some relaxation and meditation exercises at the end. And now we're getting started with our stressless life assessment, and we are going to look at 10 different categories. Category number 1 is diet. Now, a healthy lifestyle that nourishes and supports the natural functions of our body is very important when it comes to stress management, because if you are eating a lot of fast food, foods that contain artificial colors, artificial flavors, preservatives, and artificial ingredients of any kind really, then you're doing long-term harm to your body, and you are also diminishing your body's capacity to detox and to restore its healthy functions. I'm not going to go through the in and outs of healthy nutrition, but most of you already know the basic principles or guidelines that you can design your diet around, and most people know that it's common sense to reduce your sugar intake, to make sure that you're absorbing more healthy fats, and to eat plenty of fresh food. And that of course includes vegetables and fruits, ideally organic or at least spray-free. So you will cover your vitamin intake, and of course make sure that you're eating plenty of healthy proteins, and especially people who are vegetarians, make sure that you're substituting any meat products with healthy legumes. All in all, it's a great idea to create a habit of reading the ingredients lists of what you're purchasing at the supermarket and become more aware of what you're putting into your body. And for our assessment in this first stressless category, I'm inviting you to take a piece of paper and a pen so you can keep a record of your scores, and we will start scoring on a scale from 0 to 10. And a score of 10 would mean that you are 100% happy with your diet, that you know a lot about healthy nutrition, and that you have researched this a lot and perhaps seen a nutritionist or learned about it online, or perhaps you're even studying it. And a score of 0 would mean that you have the worst possible diet that you could imagine, which would mean having McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, just reflect on your week and ask yourself, on average, how good is your diet? And then rate your reflections on the scale from 0 to 10 and see where you sit on that scale. If your diet is sometimes good and sometimes you're slacking off a bit, then I suggest rating yourself at a 5, somewhere in the middle. If you feel that you're neglecting your diet or you just haven't thought a lot about it, then your score would most likely be below 5, and simply be honest with yourself. Honesty really is the best policy, and see where you're at on that scale. And once you have your score, I would like you to write a second score next to this first score, and this score would be about how good your diet could be. Now, I'm not expecting everyone to be able to have a 10 diet score here with healthy nutrition. If you do have a 10 and you've already scored yourself a 10, then that's amazing. But if you have scored yourself perhaps a 4, you may be able to upgrade to a 6 or a 7 score and have a think about what is realistic in your life. What are the changes that you can easily make in your diet just by organizing yourself a bit better? This could include preparing your breakfast or your lunch at home instead of buying takeaway or going to the fast food chain, if that is what you're doing. Or you could also make some healthier choices in what you're buying in your weekly grocery shop. So just have a think about what is realistic if you feel that you would like to improve your diet, which will certainly help your stress levels and make your body much, much happier. And if you have evaluated this area, I am also inviting you to take a few notes of action steps that you could take to improve your diet, to make better choices. And as I said before, you don't have to jump from a 3 score to a 9 score. I am just asking to reflect on what are easy changes that you can make right now. And then once you've made those changes, you can reevaluate and gradually improve your diet. Now we're going to move on to category number 9, which is related to our first category, and this is about hydration. Staying hydrated is really, really important because our body consists of 70% water. So always make sure that your liquid intake is adequate and that you are drinking at least 1.5 liter, likely more, per day. And especially when you are exercising, make sure that you are hydrating afterwards. So have a think about what you are drinking throughout your day. There may be a lot of coffee drinkers amongst you, and caffeine is a nervous stimulant and may not be very helpful with your stress reduction. And as many people are saying, it also extracts water from the body. So you can't actually count your coffee as liquid intake. If you do drink coffee, make sure that you're balancing this out by drinking additional water. Drinking the occasional juice can help you with your vitamin intake, but make sure that you're not drinking juice all day because you're also consuming a lot of fruit sugar by drinking juice. You do want to avoid energy drinks or any other drinks that do have a lot of sugar, artificial flavors, artificial colors, or any other chemicals in there. So make sure you read the ingredients list and have a think about if you really want to put that in your body. So if you reflect on the kinds of liquids that you consume during your day, make a rating on the scale from 0 to 10. 10, of course, if you're absolutely happy with your liquid intake and if you have researched a lot of what to drink, and if you happen to be a regular energy drink or Coca-Cola person, then you may want to do some research and question your drinking habits. And with this, I would also include alcohol. Alcohol actually contains a lot of sugar and a lot of carb, so this is not necessarily a healthy choice. So based on your drinking habits during your day and including alcohol, create a rating on the scale and see where you're at. If you're happy with the kind of liquids that you're putting into your body, or whether you feel that there is room for improvement, and create this first score. And then, as we've done before, we are going to create the second score. And once again, being realistic, I'm well aware that being at university means going to parties and also enjoying to go out perhaps on the weekend, and that completely abstaining from alcohol is for many people not realistic. So reflect on what could work for you and what your willingness is to improve what you put into your body. So create a second score of where you feel that your drinking habits could realistically score. And of course, if you already scored yourself a 10, then you can lean back and relax. Well done. And now moving on to our next category, which is our social life. Social interaction is very important for stress management because we can release stress with friends, we can laugh with friends, we can talk and self-express in our social networks, and also feel like we are belonging, which is a deeply ingrained human need, very much linked to our mental health. And here I'm not talking about how many friends you have or how many friends or followers you have on social media. The number and quantity of that is not important at all, because here quality really trumps any numbers, and having a few close friends who you can trust and with whom you feel safe and whose company you are enjoying is worth much more than having several fleeting acquaintances without any depth. So usually extroverts will have larger friend networks and more superficial relationships, and introverts will have most likely only 1 or 2 or 3 close friends, and these relationships will likely be more deep. So we're not going to rate the numbers of our friends or how many groups or teams you have joined. What is more important here is the quality of your social network, how much this social network actually fulfills you, how much you enjoy being with other people. And if you are absolutely happy with your social interactions and they really help you to reduce your stress levels, then of course you can rate yourself a 10. But if it's anything less than that, sometimes that's because you might be new to town, or one of your best friends has moved away, or you have recently separated from a long-term partner. So these factors all feature here, and simply rate your quality of social interaction for the present moment as it is now. And once you have created that score, again, we will create this second score next to it and reflect on where we can improve our social connections. Sometimes that means that we may have to take the first step and get to know other people better or join a team or a group. Of course, that is always a great chance to meet new people. Or this can also mean that you might want to reflect on some of your relationships that might not be beneficial for you. So many people do have toxic friendships or people who only take and never give back. So if that's you, then ask yourself how your life would be if you wouldn't have people like this in your life. So this is all about setting healthy boundaries, and we're not going to go into depth with this, but it is a really, really important topic and will really affect your mental health and your emotional well-being. So take some time to reflect on this, and perhaps you will gain some valuable insights. Now moving on to our next category, which is our capacity of being present, our capacity for mindfulness. How often do you spend your whole day completely occupied in your thoughts and your feelings without looking up and observing the world around you, or using your ears to listen to nature sounds, or just become present in your body by walking consciously, eating consciously, or just sitting consciously? So ask yourself how easy it is for you to be in the here and now, in the present moment, instead of daydreaming, thinking about the past, worrying about the future. And that includes being on your smartphone, for example, while you're walking or while you're eating. That includes watching television while you're eating or having two computer screens on while you're busy doing other things. How present are you in your daily life? So if you feel that you are absolutely amazing at being present, of course you can score yourself that 10. But if you feel that you are one of those people who has trouble with being present, then perhaps you will score yourself a 3 or a 4. So just simply reflect where you are with your capacity of being able to enjoy the present moment, using your senses, becoming aware of what you're doing in the here and now without being too distracted by your thoughts. And once you have scored yourself in this category, you may also want to reflect on what you could possibly improve in this area. And this could include putting your phone down when you're eating or when you're walking. This could include practicing to look around when you are walking somewhere. So there's this great technique of imagining that you're taking photos with your mind, looking at different things around you, taking little mental photos so that you are becoming much more aware of your surroundings. This is one of these techniques that is so easily possible and that will change so much about your day. So have a think about how you can become a little bit more present and avoid spending too much time constantly in your head. And once you have noticed how much is possible for you to change right now, depending on what you know or what you're willing to do, then create the second score and assess how you can improve your capacity for being present from where you are right now. And then moving on to our next category, which goes in a very similar direction. This is about our relaxation practice, our de-stress practices. Now this includes meditation, this includes practices like yoga, this includes de-stress massages or spending time in the spa or in the whirlpool or in the sauna. So anything that pampers your body and mind and that really actively relaxes you. So for some people it is booking a regular massage. For others it is simply lying in the hammock and reading a book. And yeah, others will go to regular yoga or meditation classes and take a more conscious approach to relaxation. So looking at your life right now, simply reflect on your relaxation habits and how happy you are with them. And if you are a relaxation guru, you can score yourself a 10. But if you feel there is room for improvement, you can score yourself somewhere below 10. And once you have this first score, have a think about how you can improve your levels of relaxation. Is there anything you can be proactive about? For example, participating in regular relaxation or meditation classes, including this one, or attending a yoga class, or booking a massage, taking some time for body-mind treatments, or simply to buy a little head massager or start a skincare massage regime before going to bed, or explore any other relaxation methods that work for you, which can include going for a walk. So have a think about what is possible from where you are right now to improve your relaxation and self-care practices, and then create the second score that would be easily possible for you as a comparison. And once you have created that score, we are moving on to our next category, which is exercise and activity. Moving our physical body is really vital to maintain our physical fitness and to improve our immune response and circulation. So think about how often you exercise during your week. This doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym or that you have to go running on a regular basis. This can mean going for brisk walks, cycling, going swimming, or simply taking the dog for a stroll. And this, of course, includes any kind of sports that you're doing, any dance classes. You can count yoga into that if you would like. And some people don't really partake in any actual exercise, but they seem to be walking around a lot during their day. They might be walking longer distances from their home to the supermarket or from their home to the university, and therefore burn some calories and keep the body healthy and fit. So simply reflect on your exercise and activity levels and score yourself on the scale from 0 to 10. 10 if you're an athletic and very, very active person, and somewhere below 5 if you don't exercise on a regular basis and if you know that your exercise routine could need some upgrade. And once you have scored yourself in this category, we are once again thinking about how we can improve our exercise levels realistically. And this could mean taking up a dance class or signing up for a gym membership or visiting the public pool more often, or just deciding to go on a regular walk every day or every second day. Yeah, just think about what would make the most sense for you and what would be the easiest way to improve your weekly exercise level, your activity levels. And once again, we are trying to be realistic here and gradually improve this category in our life. And once you have done the second score, we are going to move on to our next stress-less category, which is breathing. Now, many of you might not even be aware whether you're breathing in a rather shallow way unless you have created some awareness about the way that you breathe. So some of you might already be familiar with different breathing practices from yoga or meditation practice and know how important deep breathing is to restore and maintain our immunity and our levels of physical and mental and emotional well-being, which of course includes our oxygen intake and also improves the health of our organs. So try to become aware or to reflect on how you're breathing during your day. Are you somebody who sometimes forgets to breathe? Are you somebody who is breathing fast and shallow? And an easy way to know this is if you do not breathe into your belly, if you're only breathing into your lungs and your lower part of the body doesn't move when you're breathing, that is a sign that you're breathing rather shallow. On the other hand, if your belly is protruding during your in-breath, then that is likely a sign that you are a deep breather and therefore would score rather high in this category. So simply intuitively see where you're at on that scale from 0 to 10. And once you have rated yourself, have a think about how you can bring more breathing practice or more awareness about the way that you're breathing into your life. Now, this might mean to adopt some breathing exercises that you can do on a regular basis, Or this might just be saying to yourself to observe much, much more how you're breathing during your day. And every time when you breathe in a shallow way and you catch yourself, to take a deep breath or to breathe in deeply 3 times. This alone will already help you a lot with your breath awareness. So thinking about what you could do to improve, see how you could raise your score and what your score would likely be if you adopt a new routine or a new level of self-awareness. And you can simply rate this intuitively without thinking too much about it. And now we're going to move on to our next category, which is how much strain we are putting on our eyes, also meaning how much mental stimulation we have in our life, how much time we spend in front of the computer without looking up or without getting up to move around. So how much head time, how much time do you spend with your thoughts and with mental focus? So for anyone who spends a lot of time on the computer, this might likely be a very low score here, because that is just how your lifestyle or your study requirements demanded from you. And there is nothing wrong with it, but it is good to create some sort of awareness of what your current computer time is during your day. And if you are somebody who doesn't spend any time on the computer at all or doesn't spend any time on the smartphone, then your score will likely be quite high. But if you are spending at least a third of your day on the computer, your score should be below 5. So simply reflect on your lifestyle at the moment, whether that's wanted or unwanted. Simply score yourself as to how this situation is right now, how much time you spend in front of your computer, smartphone, tablet, or your television. So simply give it a score. You can also, if you are unsure how to score this, you can deduct 1 point for every hour you spend in front of your computer. So if you spend 8 hours a day in front of your laptop or computer, then your score would be 2. If you only spend 5 hours in front of your smartphone, computer, and so on, then your score would be 5. And now for the second score in this category, simply reflect whether all of this screen time is necessary, whether you are able to interrupt your screen time, for example, to take a break in which you would go outside or in which you would be busy doing other things that don't require as much mental activity. This could mean preparing some food, going for a walk, washing your clothes, anything that is to do with physical activity, or perhaps going for your sports practice or doing some yoga or meditation. With meditation, it is not very helpful to do meditation right after your mental activity. Usually you have to start with relaxing your body and mind and then move into meditation practice. So reflect on what is realistically possible for you to either reduce the time that you're spending in front of your screens, or to improve the way that you handle your computer time. Because everyone knows that if you're studying or you have a computer job, that it is not so easy to reduce the time you spend in front of screens, but you can create a habit of relaxing your eyes on a regular basis, of getting up more often and take computer breaks, and also to exercise in between screen activities. So this also includes spending less time on your smartphone and on social media, and perhaps that means making a special time during your day or multiple shorter periods of time. Could be blocks of 5 minutes each, or just one longer block of half an hour, to manage and organize your screen time a little bit better. So you're not constantly staring down at a tiny screen, especially if that is your smartphone. So have a think about what a realistic score for you would be, if that is possible for you to reduce or improve the way that you interact with your screens. And if it is possible, give yourself a second score. If it is not possible or you're unwilling to do so, then score yourself exactly the same way. And now we're going to move on to our last two categories. And the second last is creating an awareness about our stress triggers. So that means the situations that trigger our stress response. For some of you, those might be connected with studying. It could be around performance. It could also be connected to deadlines, sort of time pressure, or it could be connected to interactions with teachers or with other students. So relationship focused problems that some of you might have, and that might be the cause of stress and anxiety. So these situations can also occur in your personal life. They don't all have to do with your study life or your professional work life. So just think about your life in general, how many stress triggers there are, how often do you get triggered? Is it every day multiple times, or is it a few times a week, or is it a few times a month? And you would know best what it is. And of course, if you are somebody who is in a stressful time like exam week, don't score yourself higher because you are in exam week. Give yourself a score based on your average week. So if you're fairly stress-free and barely ever triggered, you will have a score somewhere above 5. And if you feel like you're stressed out a lot, multiple times during your week, or you even suffer from anxiety, which is very, very common, then score yourself 5 or below. And once you have scored yourself, have a think about if there are any easy ways of how to reduce your stress triggers. For example, if you're somebody who's always running late and you have a lot of time pressure, then most likely you could save yourself a lot of stress by organizing your day better. If you're somebody who is stressed by deadlines, then you may want to reflect on habits of procrastination. And if you are somebody who suffers from chronic stress or anxiety, you may have to take up a regular de-stress practice, or potentially visit a counselor or alternative therapist to figure out why your stress triggers are firing up so often. And some healing work or self-reflection work might have to be done, reflecting on childhood events or stress patterns, which is much more of a long-term approach. And for some people, it just means becoming a little bit more aware of your stress triggers, realizing that you are feeling the early signs of stress, and when you are able to recognize early signs of stress, then to be more proactive in reducing your stress levels. And for many people, a great help is to become a little bit kinder towards yourself. Give yourself a break. Have a nap. And change your attitude towards yourself. Be a little bit more lenient with yourself, more respectful. And for some people, reduce your performance pressure. Of course, if you are somebody who procrastinates a lot and who is always behind with study load or slacks off a lot, then being more lenient is not really the right approach. But for many people who put a lot of pressure on themselves and who are feeling that they need to be perfect all the time, it really pays off to be a little bit more understanding with yourself and treat yourself with more respect. that can make a big difference. And for some people, the stress really originates in their personal life. So you may want to make an assessment of what those stress triggers are and where they're coming from, what people are involved in, and whether there are any other ways of reducing these stress triggers. And sometimes it means taking some time away from stressful situations so that you can think clearer and access your reasoning faculties and reduce your emotional overwhelm. And that will help you to get a clearer picture of what is really going on if your stress triggers are coming largely from your personal life. So for this second score, have a think about what is easily possible in your life, what makes sense to you in order to reduce the stress triggers that you are facing on a daily basis. So reflect on the steps that you could take to reduce these stress levels, and then estimate your score again. If you could implement these new steps into your life, how this second score would look like. And now we're moving on to our last category for today. Before I will guide you through some relaxation and meditation exercises, we are going to look at the last category, which is how much laughter or humor is in your life. Which also means, how serious do you take your life? Do you take yourself? Do you take your problems? Or how easy is it for you to find humor and joy and laughter around all these topics? So if you belong to those people who tend to take life more seriously, who have a more pessimistic outlook perhaps, then your score would most likely be below 5. And if you are an optimist and find a lot of reasons to laugh and to take life lightly, then you can score yourself above 5 somewhere. Now, I would like to point out that just because we show other people our humor and our laughter and our joy, that does not necessarily mean that we are happy. So it is really, really important, especially when we're looking at mental health, to be honest with ourselves as to how happy or good-humored or optimistic we actually are, or if this is part of the persona that we show to other people. Perhaps to avoid looking at ourselves honestly, or to dissolve tension around us. So just because somebody appears outwardly as a happy person, that does not mean that it matches the state of their mental health. So I just wanted to add this here, especially when we are talking about topics like suicide prevention, that our outwardly face does not always match what is going on inside. So for this score, simply be honest with yourself and acknowledge how much joy, laughter, humor, and lightheartedness you have in your life right now, and give yourself this score. And once you have scored yourself, have a think about what would make you laugh more in your life. What would make you more joyful or happier? What would make you wake up in the morning with a smile? And these could be little things, or sometimes they might be lifestyle changes, or the way that you set your alarm tone, or the kind of movies that you watch, the kinds of books that you read. Ask yourself whether they are contributing to your joy, or perhaps whether you're exposing yourself to stories or situations that are simply not beneficial for your happiness. And I don't mean that you should avoid your challenges or your problems. Definitely not. Life is full of challenges. Challenges make us grow, and evolve, and they are part of becoming a mature grown-up. But we do have so many choices during our day, and this includes the kind of music we listen to. This includes whether we watch the news or read the newspaper and what we are reading about. This can mean the choice to watch a comedic film, or to engage in laughter practice, or to meet up with friends and have a fun time. Because laughter really, really reduces tension, and it improves our immunity and our emotional and physical well-being. So it is a very, very healthy lifestyle practice and a fantastic way to reduce your stress levels. So think about how you could improve your laughter and joy levels in your life, and which steps you could take. These could be big or small steps to lighten up your life and to take yourself and your life a little bit less serious. Simply see how you could improve the quality of your life in this category and see what the score would be like. And once you have created that second score, and once again, don't force yourself to make big changes right away, but see what is realistically easily possible for you that would help you to increase your laughter levels and your overall sense of joy and happiness. And once you've completed the second score, we are going to add up our scores. First, your initial score, the first score for all of these 10 categories. The maximum you can score is 100, which probably is quite unrealistic. So simply calculate that first score, that initial score that you have given yourself in each of these categories, coming to your overall stressless life assessment score. And once you have calculated that, you can calculate that second score, your possible improvement score. And I will give you some time to do this, so you can pause this video now and resume once you have calculated your scores. So pause now for your calculations, and once you're back, you will have a good idea of how these two scores compare and how these two scores compare out of 100. So for example, somebody might have scored in the first category a 52, and anything above 50, I would say, is still in the positive realm here, where stress can still be managed in some way or other. If you have scored in that first category below 50, you may want to have a look at the lowest scoring categories and think about making some changes to elevate your stressless life assessment score. So let's say you have scored in this first category a 51 or 52, and your second score would be perhaps a 60. So that's quite a few points difference. Or perhaps your second score is even higher, coming up to a 75. If you have already scored a 75 in your first score, then that's absolutely amazing, and I'll let you know you're doing incredibly well with your stress management practice. And if only your second score is somewhere near the 75% mark, or even still in the 60s, you can really make a big difference to your stress levels if you are implementing a few simple relaxation and self-awareness tools, or engaging yourself much more in your diet choices and becoming more aware of how much you exercise or how often you stay present and actually take time to relax. So yes, these two scores will help you to see what is easily possible right now. And I would recommend that you will go through each category again and just highlight 10 steps that you can take right now, or if 10 is too many, you can only highlight 5 steps you can take right now, and they can be little things to reduce your stress levels and take proactive steps towards increasing your well-being levels in each one of these categories. And now for the last 15 minutes, we are going to move on with some relaxation and meditation exercise. So for this last part, make sure that you sit or lie down in a really comfortable way. We're going to relax, and we are going to end this class with a short meditation exercise. So get comfortable now and close your eyes. Paying attention to your breath. Allowing your breath to be completely at ease. Relaxing your breath. Relaxing your breathing. Allowing yourself to let go, to unwind, to relax. And now we are going to connect with our body. Just feel your body. Feel how your body feels to you right now. And we are going to imagine that we are holding a big yellow sponge with an imaginary hand while your arms are resting by your side as you are sitting or lying down. And imagine that this imaginary hand of yours will use this sponge to cleanse your entire body, cleansing your face, your hair, your scalp, your throat, your neck, washing away all the dirt and the toxins from your collarbones and your shoulders, wiping clean your right arm all the way to your hands and fingers, cleaning your left arm, also all the way to your palms and your fingers, removing any stagnant energy, any tension, cleansing your chest with the sponge, your rib cage, your upper part of the back and your shoulder blades, your lower back, your sides, your stomach, your hips, your genitals, your buttocks, all cleansed, all washed down. Your thighs, the back of your thighs, your knees, the back of your knees, your calves and your shins, around your ankles, top of your feet, the soles of your feet, and between your toes. And now just imagine that you are standing underneath a pleasant warm shower, rinsing off any remnants of tension in your body, allowing the water to flow onto the top of your head, down your face, down the back of your head, your neck, onto your shoulders, down your arms, down your chest, down your back, over your stomach, your hips, the front side of your legs, the back side of your legs, and your buttocks. And flowing over your feet. And allow all of the tension or any feeling of heavy energy to be running off into the ground, into the earth. Allow the earth to take any of your toxins, any of your stress, any of your tension, and to absorb it and drain it away. And now we are going to imagine that above us there is a warm and pleasant light, and this light is the light of kindness, the light of kindness and affection. And we're now going to spoil our body by shining this light of kindness and affection onto our body, allowing our body to feel good, to feel accepted, and allowing our body to rest and relax. So we're shining this light onto our skull, our hair, if we have any, our face, our shoulders, our heart, our arms, our palms. Shine this kindness onto our stomach and all across our upper back and our lower back. Have this light travel from the back of your neck downwards the spine, all the way to the tailbone, and then showing kindness to our hips, sensing this light, to our buttocks, genitals, our upper legs, showing kindness to our legs, really important. We are walking all day, we're sitting all day, saying thank you to your legs for carrying you around. And then showing kindness to our feet, bringing the light down all the way to our feet. And now simply take a deep breath in and out. And again, breathing in and breathing out through your mouth. And once again, breathing in and breathing out through your mouth with a sigh. Ah. And again, breathing in deeply and breathing out with a sigh. Ah. Letting go. Letting go of any worries, tensions, or anxiety. Allow yourself to relax. And we are now connecting with our breath by imagining that we are the ocean, and that with every in-breath we are withdrawing the waves from the beach, and with every out-breath we are allowing the waves to land on the beach. So breathing in, we're withdrawing the water from the beach, and breathing out, we're letting go and allowing the water to expand towards the beach for as far as feels comfortable. So breathing in and breathing out, allowing the water to wash over the shells and the sand, and breathing in, taking the water back into the ocean, and breathing out. And now I will give you a few minutes to continue with this breathing exercise, to practice this way of breathing. It is a wonderful and easy to use technique you can utilize anytime during your day. So I give you a few minutes, starting now. And now I'm inviting you to become quiet, to allow your weight to be carried either by the chair you're sitting on or the surface you're lying on. And we are going to dive deeply under the ocean surface, completely unimpacted by the weight of the water or the lack of oxygen, breathing freely under the water, sinking all the way down to the floor of the ocean. And as we are sitting here, we are going to observe and witness the silence, experience the silence, the deep silence under the water surface. And now let yourself come upwards, rising to the ocean surface and allowing yourself to be flushed onto the beach, where you can sit in the sand, either in the sunlight or the shade, whatever is the most pleasant option for you. And simply enjoy sitting in meditation. And I will say goodbye for now and allow you to spend a few more moments in a state of meditation